Today's weather is sponsored by Expressway Car Wash, Lube, and Deli with 2 locations in Paducah, Kentucky. Don't forget, if you want to receive the text messages for the winter weather outlooks, choose text option number 3, the social media updates. That's under your personal notification settings on weathertalk.com. Be sure and sign up for weathertalk.com. That helps support all the data. Also helps with all of our charity events. Good day, everybody. I'm meteorologist Beau. It's January 4th, 2017, and we've got our first snow to talk about. Let's take a look at national radar. We start to see some light snow developing over Nebraska and Kansas. This will be our system that will bring at least some snow to parts of our area over the next 24 hours. Perhaps the best chance over our northern half of the area versus southern. We'll look at the details in the guidance right now. I do want to show you real quick one thing that could mess up the forecast, and this is not uncommon. We have dry air at the surface, and what this is a sounding. We're looking up into the atmosphere. You have the moisture dew point line here in green and temperature in red. Here's your 32-degree line, so we're below freezing. It's going to be snow. If it does snow, it would be snow, no freezing rain or sleet. The problem is we do have this dry air. When these two are separated, that's dry air in there. When they join together is when the atmosphere has moistened up and you get precipitation. So watch what happens as we move forward over the coming 24 hours, and watch how those lines start to get pulled together a little bit as we move late into Wednesday night and Thursday. See here how that warm air, we're nudging it a little bit here. The lines are closer together, but we still have dry air. So what happens is you'll look on radar and it's snowing, but nothing's falling. We call that virga. What happens is the snow falls through the dry layer and it evaporates. Now every snowflake that falls through the dry layer will moisten the atmosphere a little bit more and a little bit more until eventually it's enough to fall to the ground. The problem with that is if the models are showing an inch or two of snow and half of that is virga, then you can cut your, you can cut your totals in half. I've seen snow systems that it looked like it was snowing for 3 or 4 hours and it's a 6-hour event. Snowflakes didn't reach the ground until the last couple of hours. Really cuts down on the totals. Keep that in mind. I'm worried about that from Carbondale southward. If precipitation does fall in that area, there's quite a bit of dry air to overcome. That could mess up snowfall forecasts. Move forward a little bit here. Stop 2 p.m. on Thursday. Now you see how they're joined together. A little bit of dry air still down here, but snowflakes should eventually reach the ground. So keep that in mind. If the forecast goes wrong and it does actually snow as far as on radar, it could be the dry air eats into it and that eats into your totals. Keep that in mind as we move forward. Snow forecasts in our area extremely difficult, hard to nail it. Some areas usually end up with more. Some areas usually end up with less, as you know. Let's take a look at the Futurecast radar from the high resolution 3K NAM. We'll move through. We'll stop here at about midnight or so on Thursday morning. You see some snow over our northern county, St. Louis to Mount Vernon. We'll move through Thursday morning. We'll stop at the breakfast hour, 6 a.m. Now, this looks worse than it actually is. Snow over portions of our area, flurries, maybe light snow, the southern part, say Carbondale southward, northward, a little bit more snow falling from St. Louis, Mount Vernon, north of Evansville. Pretty much in this area, light snow in this area. One thing that concerns me, some changes in the forecast model guidance, is a second batch of snow that develops on Thursday late morning and afternoon. Most of the accumulation from the snow is expected from Potosi to Carbondale to Evansville northward. South of there, not anticipating much, a dusting or so. Carbondale northward, maybe a dusting 1 to 2 as you get into Mount Vernon, 1, 2, 3 inches of snow up in this area. But if this develops, then we're going to have to change the forecast and add some snow to the rest of the area, dusting to an inch or so. We'll move through and watch what happens. I'll stop here at 1 o'clock in Thursday afternoon, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, a second area of snow developing across southern Missouri. Now this, again, is a change in the forecast. If this happens, not saying it's going to, but if this happens, we'll have to change the forecast for the rest of the area. Maybe put down a dusting to an inch of snow. Move through here 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and the snow moves off. And then as we move into Friday, we'll keep an eye on this second system. Most of that is now forecast to stay to our south. Well, that's been the forecast all along. Stay to our south, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee. Maybe some snow in the parts of West Tennessee. We'll keep an eye on it. It does look like that second system's going to remain mostly south. Any shift north and northwest of the low would definitely change the forecast, but odds right now favor this system staying to our south. Let's take a look at accumulation on the NAM guidance. As we move through Thursday night, you'll start to see the accumulation to our north stop here at about 12 o'clock noon, and you see the heaviest band of snow northern and central Missouri into parts of central Illinois, northern parts of southern Illinois. This dark blue area, 2 or 3 inches of snow. As you get into Mount Vernon, 1 to 2, St. Louis, 1, 2, maybe 3 parts of St. Louis. Mostly to our north, you got Mount Vernon to Carbondale with a dusting to 1 inch or 2, and then south of there, by noon hour on Thursday, no accumulation expected, maybe some flurries, light snow, dusting. We'll keep an eye on that second band of snow that's being shown in the guidance. As we move through Thursday afternoon, watch what happens down here. The model is picking up on that second area of snow. There you go. A dusting to a 1/2 inch, Paducah, Mayfield, Poplar Bluff, Carbondale a little bit more. It's that second area of snow that I'm starting to monitor for possibly a little more accumulation in this area here. Low confidence on this happening with the second band. This is something new showing up in the guidance. Going to have to watch it over the next 12 hours to see what happens if this is actually something that is going to develop. All right, I'll show you the GFS snowfall accumulations as well. We will move through Thursday morning. I'll stop here at 3 o'clock. Let me back up a little bit. Stop here at 6 a.m. on Thursday morning, and a little bit of snow dusting in Mount Vernon, 1 inch or so in St. Louis. Again, watch what happens back here on the GFS guidance as well. As we move through Thursday morning and afternoon, there's that second area of snow that develops. Southeast Missouri, most of Illinois, parts of West Kentucky. It drops a dusting to 1 inch or so of snow over more of the area. Again, this is something new developing in the model guidance. Now, as we move through Friday, we'll watch the snow to our south. And you can see where the GFS puts that well south of our area. Little Rock, Memphis, down into Alabama, Mississippi. Now, I do have a snowstorm rating scale, and this is a light event, so it's a Category 1 winter weather event for those of you who do receive snow, dusting, 1 inch or 2, maybe 3 over northern counties. It's cold. Whatever falls from the sky will stick, so there could be some hazardous road conditions. Remember, it really doesn't matter how much snow falls on the road. If it's untreated, it just takes a dusting of snow to cause problems, so slick is slick. Not expecting any wind as far as blowing and drifting snow. Don't believe that's going to be a major concern. I'll keep an eye on that. But those areas that do pick up some snow, this is a Category 1. It just means a light event, fairly common event in our area, and there could be some hazardous road conditions. Okay, let's take a look at my snowfall forecast. If you live in the Mount Vernon area, this red zone here, 1 to 3 inches of snow likely, some hazardous road conditions. Blue zone, Farmington, Carbondale, El Dorado, Sparta, Cape Girardeau, Paducah, Madisonville, Evansville. Dusting to 1 to 2 inches of snow. Models do show some Cape. That's a little bit of convective nature to the snow. We'll keep an eye on that. These higher numbers here really depend on the second piece of energy that I talked about. If you live down here in Poplar Bluff, Sykeston, Union City, Murray, Clarksville, Hopkinsville, right now it looks like no accumulation to maybe up to 1 inch. And again, really hinges on that second piece of energy. Let's take a look at probabilities in the red zone, including Mount Vernon. 90% chance of 1 to 2 inches of snow, 60% chance of 2 to 4 inches of snow, 20% chance for 4 to 6 inches of snow. Hazardous driving conditions likely on untreated roads. Bitterly cold air with single digits Friday, Saturday morning likely, especially if you do have that snow cover. In the blue zone, 60% chance of 1 to 2 inches of snow, a 30% chance of 2 to 4 inches of snow, only a 10% chance of 4 to 6 inches of snow. Now these areas include Cape Girardeau, Paducah, Carbondale, Madisonville. You can look back at the map that I posted a while ago. Snow may develop late Wednesday night, but especially late Thursday morning into Thursday afternoon. If that second piece of energy does develop, then that's when the snow will accumulate more in the blue zone. Impacts again, untreated roads, slick, hazardous. Cold temperatures means whatever falls will stick. Bitterly cold air Friday and Saturday morning. If you do have 1 inch or 2 of snow, we're looking at low temperatures in the 8 to 12 degree range without the snow, probably lower teens. Okay, so if you live in the yellow zone, only a 30% chance of 1 to 2 inches of snow, 10% chance for 2 to 4, and then the probabilities go down from there. That does include areas south of Sykeston, Poplar Bluff, down into West Tennessee, Kentucky-Tennessee border counties. You have the lowest chance for accumulating snow. For you to get accumulating snow, you really need that second piece of energy to develop over southern Missouri and then move a little bit further south than anticipated. Okay, those are the latest numbers. Of course, still 12 hours away or so. These numbers can change 12 to 24 hours away from the snow moving in the area. I'll adjust them if necessary. A lot of this snow depends on that second piece of energy moving through southern Missouri.